Welcome to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Irongol Heavy Metal Championship ranking match here on Speed Gaming 2. I am Kurant, and I am joined by my co-com Magius, and it is about time for some insanity. These are going to be blind flags. We don't know terribly much about them so far. Everybody is going to be a little crazy. There are a couple of things, though, that I can tell you about the flags. For one, we have ourselves a little bit of a pseudo-party draft because the white mage in both parties was forced. The third slot was a mix between Black Belt and Thief, and Ale's chosen the Black Belt, while Dengwoo has chosen the Thief. Then the second and fourth slots were mixed between Fighter, Red Mage, and Black Mage, and you can see both fighters have taken those, so holy mackerel. And it's good to see you, Magius. Glad you could join me for comms. How are you doing?
I'm holding up. Just had to go get a drink because of the randomness of this seed.
Oh boy, yes indeed. This is going to be pretty crazy indeed. I think we are very much good to go. One other thing about this seed as I get ready to release the runners, Caleb, who proctored this seed for us today, apparently is missing a summer pastime that's not going on right now. So he decided when he was rolling the seed, he was going to try to simulate that for us here in Final Fantasy. So as everybody gets ready to start here, all I will say as we drop the gate and get the runners ready to go is, let's play ball!
As I said, had to get some tea. This is going to be crazy. Although I have to say, this is not going to be the longest Irongol match I've seen.
Now, you might be wondering, why in the world did we lead with that? Well, because when Caleb put in the seed flag, he put it in as baseball. Or, well, the elite version of baseball. So, yeah, we're going to have ourselves quite the seed. We've dropped the gate and just waiting on the runners to get everything into gear. I think I might have surprised them a little bit in starting out so soon, but hey. Had ourselves a little bit of a quick comm session. You'll notice on the flags we do have ourselves a free ship and a free canal. So travel is good to go. And looks like our runners are as well, as they both make their way into an entrance randomizer.
Entrance of floor rando to be, well, we don't know floor yet, but at least entrance of that one. Harm 2 and Viz, Harm 3 and Lamp for the spells. Quadex, Wake, and Brack at least, and Lit 2, so they at least have some opening options.
Yeah, that's not terrible, but it's not the best opening either, but hey, and they do have a fighter and either Thief or Black Belt on their side, so they can at least get, some good physical combat going on if they don't have great magic.
And to answer to Alo's question in the chat, we have no clue. We have no clue.
Yep, these are blind seeds, so everything that they're doing, we will find out as they find out, including the blurs that you see on the weapons and armor, and we've already seen a little bit of a hint of the entrance randomizer.
I also have to add, we at least know this is alpha flags because we have the by quantity on.
Ah, yes, that's a good point. I've only seen that essentially on the alpha site and when I've just peeked around it a little bit, so not too much.
There's the ship.
Wow, we found that fast.
And the slab.
Well, yep, guys, we're getting started pretty fast.
Yep, I did not see if it's going to be floor shuffle as well, so I'm assuming probably it's just going to be entrance since, well, we'll see in a second.
Yeah. So
it's just entrance!
Ah, it is only an entrance. Okay, well that's good to know. And yes, Caleb mentioning that Ale did already have the loot, so looks like our items are pretty well good to go. At least for now, anyway. But yes, it looks like it is simply entrance randomizer, so with Lit 2, they actually could maybe do a little bit of business on this sea floor if they don't run into anything too terribly heavy, and lobsters are heavy.
To 222 gold on that one. At least they don't have the option if every encounter is unrunnable.
That's
though
true.
I don't know about the forced tile option on that one.
Oh, that would be nasty.
I mean, we don't even know the enemy's stats right now. But we do know now NPC Guillotine is on.
And Fun mentioning you thought they started with ship. We were under that impression, yes. So it looks like even... Well, looks like even our roller himself, Caleb, is surprised at the flags. That's a true blind seed, folks.
I mean, if it was me, I would have just rolled it on one of the older randomizers and made him have to deal with it. But gotta give him some fun stuff. Money, money. Exhale -2, and hey, there's the canoe.
Ha! Well, hey, now you've got a lot of the travel equipment you need. Maybe not all of it, but a pretty good chunk as Elmarkin cleans out the mermaid's floor and is getting some... Even though Sun -4 is not the greatest thing in the world, it's a good thing to find early.
I mean, they found Excal, you know, minus... it was 1 or 2.
It was -2.
Let's see, Okay, well, Seashrine was incentivized.
Also, it's worth noting that, good God! Is everything loose?
I have no clue, but I had to take a second because I nearly spewed out Ice Tea from that.
Oh my heavens. Also, it's worth noting that Dengwoo found Earth Cave. I'm assuming he found it up in Matoya's, but I gotta be... Canoe was in an incentive box? Okay.
And yes, it looks like the encounters are low on that one. But we do know that at least... oh god. I believe we have random encounter zones.
It looks like we may, because, yeah, Elmarkin is doing some interesting hero runs on the seafloors. And Dengwoo is finding nothing to fight her in the forest around Canaria.
We have random encounter zones, because I also saw ghosts in Sea Shrine, not on a trap tile. Oh god. We have a low encounter rate on the overworld, if not none.
Yeah. And it looks like the Dwarf Cave became ordeals when we weren't looking.
As a positive note, we don't even know if Town Shuffle is on yet.
Well, we're about to find out, because Dengwoo is headed toward Provoca.
Let's see, is it? Nope!
Alright, so our towns are all normal, it would seem.
Although we do have the ability to run from the Sea Hag.
Oh, and it looks like we may have some unsafe pirates too, because poor Greg just got body checked by one of them.
I mean, do we have the we have unsafe powers, but at the same point, do we have buffed pirates flag on?
And Caleb confirming in chat that the overworld has 0 encounters, so, oh boy.
I don't want to cackle on stream, but I certainly feel like it!
Hey, cackle all you like. Also, it looks like Elflin Tassel has become Titan's Trove, so once we get a ruby, we know where to go give him his food.
Oh, wait, apparently Buff Pirates is on. That's even worse!
And the Marsh Cave...
the actual... those wearing headphones on that one.
Looks like the Marsh Cave has become Sarda, and it gives Dengwoo his herb. Unfortunately, since the Elf Castle has changed locations, we don't know where to give him the herb just yet, but I'm sure we'll find it pretty soon. Maybe. Possibly.
I mean, we haven't checked Northwest Castle yet, but,
Nope,
well, we
not
know
yet.
Extended Open Progression is not on, as they have yet to divide that up, and hey, we found, the, Temple of Fiends.
Yep. So Dengwoo's gonna go ahead and see about body checking Garland, and...
Oh, God.
So Ale's play to just go ahead and full clear everything he could in Sea Shrine is paying off some pretty insane dividends.
I mean, I didn't even think we could probably place items in a single location, but it sort of feels like we did.
Meanwhile, Dengwoo took out Garland, and I assume is, well, not going to clean out the rest of the now Temple of Fiends. Probably doesn't have any save items, so it wouldn't be the best play at the moment.
Yeah, let's see. Will American get out of there, though?
I think he
We
went
have
back.
taverns!
Oh boy. So the runners can swap their party members should they so choose, but only of certain types as befits each tavern.
I mean, it said hire a white mage, so at least we know Elflin we can hire them.
Yep. Meanwhile, Dengwoo heading back up to Temple of Fiends, and we'll probably explore it more intensively now, as Elmarkin attempts desperately to get out of Sea Shrine, and the sea snakes might ruin his day. Yes, they did.
Sadly on that one. Also, it looks like we don't have much for the EXP gains, at the very least. Considering when Dang managed to kill those and Silverhammer, though, that is decent.
Oh, very good, yes.
Especially at a +5.
Yeah. And the sea snakes are busy bodying Aelmarkin again, so he is now going to go exploring a little bit. Caleb mentioning it's almost like XP isn't tied to key items today. It would appear it is not, because otherwise Ale would be probably running in it right now, and sadly he is not.
Let's see, Invis 2, Harm 4, Fall 2. Those are all great spells for the white magic on that one.
Oh, absolutely. And Fire 3 out of the Black Magic shop looks pretty good, too. I noticed, I think Ice 3 was at level 3 for Black Magic, so you've got a couple of your big elemental sweepers there.
Gonna need it for those pirates.
Yes! Now that we've had a little exposure to them, we'll see how Ale handles them with a good taste of maybe a little bit of a roasting. Except he gets roasted first.
I mean, I have seen Pirates of Nuke before. They're not nice.
I was going to say, that sounds heartily unpleasant. No thank you. I think I'll leave that for never.
So we don't know whether or not any of these things have been changed on that one as far as the... God. We don't know if Warmech's been unchained or not, but we are pretty sure that there is at least somewhat of the encounter zones being shuffled because of seeing some of the enemies in the dungeons, but I'm not positive on that one. I haven't been able to tell if the encounter rate in dungeons has been increased or not, but this is going to be fun.
Oh yes, very much. And it looks like we're going to have simultaneous pirate fights on the way here. And we'll see which of the runners ends up conquering the briny menace here. Looks like Dengwoo did not, unfortunately.
Looks like a market's actually opting for some actual a market opting for Confuse.
And it looks like it's a pretty good move too, at least for most of the pirates.
He's causing a mutiny. That's a good thing.
Though, unfortunately, now that poor Black Mage is the hope of all Hyrule. Or, well, sorry, I've been playing too much Breath of the Wild lately.
Don't worry about it. It's Breath of the Wild. It's a good game. And oh god, these are buff pirates.
Oh, they are indeed.
They just survive a Fire 3.
And they have Cure 4. What is this madness?
I mean, we don't have a mercy rule at present, so
Yeah, those poor pirates. Well, not the poor pirates. Our poor party members are just getting completely smacked in the next week by the pirates.
Oh, they're gonna get through the pirates.
So Elmarkin decides that discretion is the better part of valor here and heads up to heads up to Matoya's, which we now know to be Earth One.
Dengwoo just got done the pirates and got to level 8. Oh God! For 4 gold!
And got chump change for it, and he's a little frustrated, just a smidge.
And he can't NPC guillotine Binky.
Whoopsie.
Although Copper Bracelets 2 is going to be useful on that one. And chat is loving it.
Oh, absolutely. This is fantastic. That's what makes these Irongol matches so much fun, is just how crazy they can get, and it really seems to entertain all the runners, the commentators, the people in chat. It's glorious. I love it.
Also, houses rolled pretty cheap, as did heal pots. And ooh, was that a Dragon 5?
Yes, it was.
It was!
Pretty good. Pretty darn good sword there.
Hard to tell what the stats of the enemies are at present, but at least Elmarkin is getting out of dodge and is going to save.
Yep. Yeah, that seems like a smart move, really. As we've seen so far, these enemies can pretty easily body the low parties. So that's definitely a good move to go ahead and just get the heck out of dodge when you can, save your progress, even if it's just a few treasure chests, and then go from there.
I don't think Deng has actually checked to find out that tavern mode is on.
Not yet. I'm sure he'll see it presently as he walks around here.
I mean, he hasn't had a party member fall yet, so he's got no reason to actually heal to it. Level 3 magic is pretty nice.
Caleb pointing out that he saw taverns in Provoca, so he does know about it.
Did you see what the Provoca job was?
The chat's saying it was a thief.
Exit in Life 2 at level 4.
Very nice. And Lit 3 at level 4. Again, Elemental Sweeper, not quite the nuke that we're all, well, at least they're hoping for. But still, 2 good spells to have for your White Mage.
Now, Markin found red Ds in the Hall of Giants, and they were susceptible to Quad X. I think after a bit of damage, so...
Well, it looks like he's deciding not to pursue it further yet. It's probably get a little more of a handle on exploration and/or items.
Have any of them figured out that there's no overworld encounters yet?
I would figure Dengwoo probably has, because he basically ran laps around the Caneria Forest before figuring out that nothing was happening on that vein.
I don't know about Elmarkin, but if the canal is available, they have the ship. They have the canal. They know Town Shuffle is not on. I'd be thinking Crescent Lake, maybe? A floater?
Maybe. We shall see. But as Caleb's pointing out, they don't know yet that they have open canal. Neither of them have checked yet, but that's understandable.
I mean, technically, we don't even know if open progression is on. No one's been to Dwarves.
Well, I think Deng did. I believe it was Deng who found out that the Dwarf Cave, at least, that it became more deals.
You're right, so we know minimum, normal, open progression is on. And Dengwoo making it to Mermaids, so is gonna find that WTF that is here.
Yes, he's gonna find that, well, Sea as a whole will provide famously, at least as far as key items go. And
I mean, it's got a lot of sunken treasure.
Yep. And meanwhile, Elmarkin is making his way through Temple of Fiends, and he's deciding to go ahead and grab the items prior to going after Garland, which, and considering that he's had a little bit of an opportunity to get levels, it's understandable.
Yep. So let's see, Dengwoo picks up his rod, picks up his bottle.
Of course, I also just now noticed, and I'm going to have to ask Elmarkin about this, apparently the Black Mage, if I'm reading, or Black Belt, if I'm reading that name right, apparently the Black Belt has been named after me. And if that is indeed the case, I will have to take exception to the fact that I've spent this entire game on the carpet.
Ooh. Veteran move by Dengwoo. Before checking out Sea Shrine, he picked up Exit.
Nice.
And her pickup for Elmarkin. As a positive note, Dengwoo being the only person to... Wait, was that Pro Rings I just saw?
Yeah. Yep, Pro Rings were 15k in Canaria's armor shop. Caleb says he's giving me a rest. He might need me later. I suppose so. Sarah advocating for a sale of Excal 2, which, considering how much money Excal 2 can give you, that's not the worst play in the world. Certainly.
And Elmarkin, realizing that there's no overworld encounters, is finally deciding to use that canoe to get Crescent Lake.
Alright, so let's see what all the shops and the sages have in store. Pretty cheap cabins, I noticed. Very quickly.
I don't know about you, Eric, but me, knowing I got the canoe, as soon as I would figure out that there's no overworld encounters, I'd be hoofing it to Crescent Lake to get those free items. And ooh, nuke at level 6.
Yep. That might... Oh, we have some crazy old men, I see.
I love this old flag. It's been around for ages, and it doesn't get as much love as it should. Also, apparently, doing that... Apparently, with Crazy Old Men, you cannot NPC guillotine the sages.
Nope. And unfortunately, it looks like Lacan just gave away about $3,000, so Elmarkin promptly noped out of that one. Veteran move, by the way, saving all the way at Elfland, since he was making that check, so he didn't have to run back. Of course, then
very true.
These guys are Irongol participants for a reason. They are veterans, at least in terms of their mental fortitude.
And Dengwoo giving us the credits boss, as well as finding out that he has the free canal.
And Elmarkin also finding out that Ordeals is not open. Or at least it's not free, anyway.
Wait, did Dengwoo just discover something in NPC Guillotine that needs to be fixed?
Perhaps.
I mean, you can kill the old user blocking your way, but no, never mind. Worked out just fine because you couldn't get in the chair. Ooh, and Fade's at level 5.
That's not bad. Get a few levels, and Fast is level 5 too.
And Saber. Too bad they don't have a red mage, but ooh, we got Zozo and Melmont too.
Have fun, guys. Remember, 61050. That's the password.
And all your good chainsaw, though.
Yeah, sadly, no chainsaws here.
Although we do have vanilla NPC locations, so the doctors are not in a different location. So Dengwoo turning in their slab.
I remember, I think my experience with switching the turn-in NPCs around just goofed me off one seed, because just a practice seed. Because I think I walked into Elfland Castle and therein lay Bahamut, which really made me wish I had the tail at that point, but nope.
Oh, we got procedurally generated waterfall.
Yep, in Earth Cave. So, have fun with the maze, Dengwoo! Looks like Elmarkin attempting to go back and get those key items in Waterfall, which hadn't had great success so far, but we'll still endeavor nonetheless.
I mean, it's free EXP technically, and also with the items that we have, especially with the items that we have, we don't know if we're getting any bonuses from those key items or not. Probably not on that one, but this does put some, does make Elmarkin's black belt somewhat useful. Although I think, oh wait, here's the robot.
Yep. Well, looks like he went to the right part of the maze, which is good for him. He's picking up level 6 on a couple of characters. So
Heal helmet.
Yep, heal helmet. -5, but that hardly matters.
Just wait, Astos?
Wow! Hello, Robot Astos. So, if Warmech is our robot overlord, does that make Astos our robot underlord?
Don't know. I forget when this flag happened, but I could be wrong there.
Oh my goodness. Oh, these flags. Oh.
Our runners are going to want to yell at Caleb for this, but they asked him.
I'm not yelling at Caleb for this. I am patting him on the back and sending him an ale.
Oh, I agree with you. We're not having to run this mess, but our runners are. Oddly enough, we wouldn't even know if it's going to be Topher or not until they finally get in there.
Yep. Still plenty of fun to be had.
Although we don't have the giant boss rush hallway like we've had in other crazy seeds like this before. But even then, I think that was a one-off, but still.
Alright, so Dengwoo has found all of his items in Waterfall, which proved to be a little less satisfying, but still. Good thing to at least get that out of the way.
Yeah, true, and Elmarkin giving us the visual glitch. Oh, we missed it. Lock 2 is also there.
And Caleb pointing out in chat that is curious he didn't check out the Titan's Trove entrance, and I was actually about to say the same thing. I am a little surprised he didn't just go ahead and check it while he was there. He, I guess, had a bit of a one-track mind? I will have to ask him about that later.
It looks like Elmarkin is heading towards Kraken, probably hoping to check out Sharknado, as they do have exits, so that will help them.
Well, if he can ever manage to get a word in edgewise.
Also, we do know that the auto sort is not one. And let's see. Ooh, we found Scott. We found
Mirage.
God. Yep. Swing and a miss on remembering names tonight.
Hey, that's alright. I mean, yeah, it's not technically Sky, but I mean, it's in the same bit, so what's the rush in trying to do that? It's no big deal.
Also, Flame Armor +3.
Also, good evening, Wolfologist. Welcome to the stream. This is a Final Fantasy Randomizer Irongol Heavy Metal Championship, so it's not technically a tournament per se. These are races where runners will challenge each other to all sorts of crazy flags just to have a grand old time. This is indeed a ranking match, but it's not an official tournament. It's just lots of fun insanity, including in this one, we've had an entrance randomizer, we have loose Oxyale.
We've had a lot of loose things.
Oh yes, the whole world is almost loose, it seems. But we've had lots of loose items, we've had entrance randomizer, we've got the blessed and cursed weapons and armor.
Basically, Caleb just typed in baseball in Elite as far as the seed and basically pressed generate. Then gave that seed to the runners.
We are playing baseball tonight because the folks in MLB can't be bothered to make up their freaking minds. But that's a story for another time.
Oh, agreed on that one. We also have no overworld encounters at all.
Yep. Nothing on the overworld, as Dengwoo discovered when he ran laps around Canaria Castle just for the exercise.
Oh, we have a Bane Sword 5.
That's also a good sword.
And apparently the Frost Giants or the Wolves had poison.
That's not so good. I want to return that back, thank you very much. I did not find that product satisfactory.
Although we do have the actual decoupled flag, so that on the Witsy Hag, so they can at least run away from that one, so that's a positive. Iron Helmet 3, opting to life up, and Dengwoo is in the better than less than Vanilla Ice.
Well, I guess we can get some rapping going then. Just as long as he, pays David Bowie and Queen the money that they deserve.
Ooh, Elmarkin actually doing a veteran play here.
Yeah, throwing all the fire threes he can get at those metal slimes, and it looks like they're going pretty fast, and they're giving him, good amount of experience for early game, so getting some good levels on everybody but me. And we'll be able to take on the rest of this lovely entrance randomizer procedurally generated madness thereunto pertaining.
I mean, we don't even know if we have a procedurally generated Sky yet, or even procedurally generated Earth 2. But that's what you get with the Alpha Site.
Well, hey, I mean, one is good enough to stoke my fancy. And it looks like at least Northern Open Progression is not present tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
We do know Southern is because of having access to Dwarf's Cave. Wait, did they sail to Dwarf Cave or just walk?
I believe they sailed there.
We don't even know if Open Progression is on.
So, a Mighty Metric asking in chat, so the dungeon layout is randomized. There are a few distinct areas that can be randomized. You have to turn those on separately because those are considered to be a little more challenging as a flag, so they're not on by default. But yes, they can be randomized at least to some degree. And we've already seen that Waterfall is one of them.
Oh god, Carrot. Look what floor Elmarkin is on.
Oh dear, he's on the sleeping
After this
floor
battle.
apparently. Do we have a procedural generation? Oh, he's on the Tia floor already. Hello.
Yeah, he's on Kraken.
Oh, Kraken, sorry. I don't know why I always call him Tia.
They
Shame
both
on me.
have multiple appendages. But,
Deng is now discovering the mystery of the crazy old men, and I have a feeling we're going to get a little bit of blowback when, yep, there comes the money.
I remember when that flag was standard, and I still wish it was.
I can definitely see the fun in it. You have to... It lends a little bit of a different exploratory vibe, because you have to make sure to just section off the old men into quadrants or halves, or however you want to do it, just to make sure that you don't lose track of anything.
Oh, and we'll get to find out something else. Hardwell dungeons.
It looks like Elmarkin's trip, well, his tip to go after Kraken got cracked open by the lobsters.
Yeah. Although we did find Ice Cave.
Yep. So, not too far from where it actually is, so have fun.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, the Mighty Metric mentioning that the seafood party platter's a little tough to handle. The seafood party platter's tough to handle pretty much all the time, honestly.
Agreed on that one. It looks like Elmarkin is opting to check the Earth Cave, it looks like we don't have procedurally generated Earth 2.
Womp womp.
I mean, it only just randomizes where the entrances and exits are through there, but still.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, still a little bit of procedurally hello, Cube. A little bit of procedurally generated fun is all the fun.
And lots of loot tonight.
Oh goodness, yes. Speaking of loose, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to our tracker, Jay Scheidel, who, God bless you having to keep up with all this crazy insanity as far as the items go.
Looks like Markin found some nightmares. Hopefully he doesn't have to... We found the crown.
Well, we know Ordeals is not... Well, at least it's not open like we see, like we're accustomed to, so yeah.
Well, with that crown, I believe they now have access to Ordeals.
Yep, yeah, they do now. That is, assuming that...
Because why they need a crown to get in there, I do not know.
I think it's supposed to be a test of courage or something like that.
It is supposed to be a test of courage, I just don't get why a crown would be needed to enter said test of courage. Are you trying to bribe the old man to get in?
Hi, old man! I wrested this crown from the smoking corpse of the fake King Ostos. How's that for courage?
Other buckler +2.
Only kings deserve rat tails. And chat pointing out that we have ourselves a cat claw in a chest. Yes, we do! And I will admit, I know virtually nothing about the cat claw because I've only seen it in shops and I've never actually used it.
It's equipable by the Black Mage at the very least, and Fighter, and Black Belt if I recall correctly, so that's the thing. It's decent damage from what I've heard, though I've never seen it actually do decent damage.
Speaking of doing decent damage, it looked like the wizards were doing decent damage to Aelmarkin.
Also, we found a Pro Cape 5.
That's going to be excellent for the mages in our parties.
I mean, they are squishy. I'm surprised no one's checked, since they know Tavern Mode is on, to see if they can recruit any other classes.
I guess I would oh dear, those mummies are... Poor party members just keep getting put to sleep. I would presume, though, given that, I would presume that the runners are pretty happy with what they have as their parties so far. So I guess...
More than likely.
Yeah.
Giants and Iguanas, although we do know that they're not getting that much experience from this.
Zenobian pointing out in chat that it's probably all thieves. Oh, Hightail. High Key!
High Key!
Good lord! All the looses! All the looses! Yeah, we have seen that one...
Getting any XP from this.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the XP per key item is turned on.
I mean, the amount of gold... Ooh, defense 3!
That's a good sword, and not just for that defense buff.
I mean, Markin does have the actual tail now.
Yep. Kirito, you can blame Caleb for this seed. He rolled it. It's all his fault.
He just entered the World Baseball in and went from there and, hey, we found the dynamite.
Oh, well. Dengwoo gets to blow this experiment all to Kingdom Come if he wishes.
I mean, and he's got exits, so... Looks like we might actually see our first clear dungeon soon. Hi, Wiz Mummies!
So, did you just curse Dengwoo to death?
No, but he's got Fade, though.
Well, if he could not get put to sleep.
I mean, the White Mage has got Fade, so that's a thing. We still don't know if any of the... what the boss stats are, scaling-wise, or anything else like that. Ooh! Gold 2!
Gold 2! That will also be nice for our mages.
And looks like we'll get to see whether or not Ice Cave is incentivized tonight. Is it... Thor!
Thor -4, so bad idea to equip it, but not a bad idea to use it, given.
Although we don't know if that was in the incentive pool or if that was just loose. Because we don't know what was in the actual incentive pool, but still, the Thor Hammer pickup is very good for the early game since extra spell casts. And another pro cape on Dengwoo's side.
Yep, so those mages just get even more defensive, which is a rare sight to see in a seed. Oh. More looses!
Have we seen everything but what? The crystal and the chime?
I believe so, yeah. Well, we haven't seen the ruby yet, I don't think.
Oh yeah, ruby too. So we're basically 3 items away from no mode.
Yep. And we know that Titans, well, we know that Titans has been found, so... Although, admittedly, I was not quite prepared to start keeping notes for an entrance randomizer when I printed out my sheet today, so... I'm afraid I don't quite remember exactly where Titans is, but once they find that ruby, I'm sure their memory is a lot better than mine.
I believe Titans was... I know it was close to... God, what is it? Corneria, if I recall correctly. Wait, am I right there or wrong there? Or was it the castle? Not castle.
So, Caleb's saying Elfland Castle. Thank you, Caleb. You're a far smarter person than I.
And we found the other side of it.
Well, okay, so take your pick. We have a Lich fight on Ilmarkin's side, and looks like we're going to get all the undead killing going on with Harm 4 and Fire 3. And Lich not hitting that hard, which is good news for the runners.
But does seem to have a lot of HP.
Never mind.
Wait.
Never mind, I stand corrected. Fortunately, Lich is dead.
And at about 39 minutes, 40 seconds, Ilmarkin's lit our first orb.
So, looks like we have the fiends in all their proper places. I know they can be switched around should the sadistic seed maker so choose.
I mean, it's been a good game tonight, folks. Ilmarkin.
Oh dear, Caleb tantalizing us. Yes, they could be. Well, I guess we'll just find out as we see more... If we see... Well, once we see more fiends, then we can deduce that for ourselves.
And then we're picking up their GameCube.
Well, good to know. Hopefully they didn't pay too much for it.
I mean, it's a good system. It's a good lunchbox, but it's a GameCube.
Yep. Siren is hoping that the game defies Caleb's machinations and puts every fiend in their vanilla locations. Would that not be something? Randomize the fiends and they all just happen to land where they're supposed to anyway.
Yep, also Dengwoo picking up their crown. So Ordeals is on the table. Exiting out. Smart play.
Yeah, I think these runners have definitely been bred to the idea that, hey, once you get a key item, just get out, save it, and then go back in.
And now Markin's got the world is his oyster. The world is his oyster. He's already now in the air. Landing on Gaia, though.
And of course, we've already seen the bottle, so we will get to find out if the fairy is holding anything exciting or if it's just more couch cash.
As a positive, the gold bracelets rolled a little lower, and hey, the crystals are a vendor item.
And it's not terribly expensive for being in Gaia.
I did not see whether or not Ilmarkin Tracker saying did buy it, but let's see what the fairy's got. Money!
Well, I was going to say Elmark could doing those menus too fast. I couldn't actually see if he picked it up, but I presume he did since money went from there to gone. Alright, so Ale makes his way into Mirage Tower, a la Ordeals.
Yep, and with that cue, they will be able to go and check the sky part of it.
Meanwhile, Dengwoo now has his tail and can promote, should he so wish. Well, should he find where to promote, and should he so wish.
I've got to say, I'm surprised Elmark hasn't gone Comet, but also picks up their Oxyale.
Alright, goes ahead and saves that, which obviously is the smart move. Saves it 3 times, apparently. Or just uses 3 cabins to make sure that the party's rested up.
Yep, and apparently, as it was told in chat a while back, looks like Thorhammer, defense, and gotta forget that there weren't incentivized locations, so they are in the incentive pool. We don't know if there's going to be anything else in the incentive pool or not. Probably not, but who knows.
Yeah, the canoe, defense, sword, and the Thorhammer.
These 3 items in the incentive pool. We don't know if there's going to be anything else in there, but there might. I think our runners are hoping for maybe, say, a incentive massa?
Huh. That would be nice to have, especially since both of them decided to go ahead with the fighter. Obviously, the sharpest sword possible is the one you want to swing, although they've got a pretty good defense sword already, so that's a pretty decent backup if you don't get the Masa. The Excal -2, on the other hand, not so much.
I wish you could just hurl it at enemies. Sadly, we don't have the throw command.
Caleb in chat, meanwhile, mocking the idea that there would be an incentive Masa because, well, of course he wouldn't. Possibly.
I mean, you just wrote baseball. It didn't look. Who knows? But still, gotta love this game tonight.
Unfortunately, Elmarkin's White Mage got a bit abused trying to go up the Mirage Tower, so reset and went back in.
Also, Dengwoo finds their floater.
So
looks like they're going to try to take on Lich as well.
Yeah, I mean, no reason not to. You're pretty close to it. You know that the floor shuffle is not on, so you know that you're going to be met with the Fiend by the time you get there. Meanwhile, Elmarkin just getting slept to death, seemingly, by all these mummies. It's a rather torturous ability for them to have because there's so dang many of them, you just can't get away from such insanity.
Oh, and fire too. And it looks like Den's not opting for Lich.
Okay. Also, Jay Scheidel pointing out that Ale did not pick up the crystal, which, yeah, I didn't think so, but given that how fast that these runners menu, I knew it was possible that I could have just flat out missed it.
Very true. Personally, I wish there was overworld encounters just so they could actually put it at like the lowest amount possible. So just with like so you think you're safe and then randomly Warmac.
Yeah, Warmac Unleashed 0.01 times overworld encounters. Surprise! It was me, Warmac.
I mean, having him at max stats would be horrible, but we found a useless part of the
Cardia.
And we found Bahamut!
Alright, so time for Dengwoo to grow up. He's spent enough time being a kid, he just wants to sit at the adult table for a change.
I mean, I thought he didn't want to go up because he's a Toys R Us kid. Rest in peace, Toys R Us.
Alright, so now it's time to probably get that defense sword on the fighter, and goes ahead and equips the Thor -4. And then decides to equip the Excal -2. Interesting. and then equips the defense sword.
I think he was unsure which was stronger on that one.
It's understandable, yeah.
Mighty War is already a treasure. Let's see. We've got a little bit of money, 4 gold, a real little bit of money, and a pure potion.
Yeah, a little money, a lot less money. In fact, the same amount of money that we got earlier from a kingly reward, so... Meanwhile, Elmarkin is going ahead and cleaning out Sky Palace, which is, considering how many treasure chests there are, is definitely a good move. Finding plenty of money here.
Also, we do know those slimes are going to go down easily because they go down to a Fire 3.
Yep. Not just a Fire 3, but a Fire 3 that rolled in the 90s, I think I saw earlier. So, they are some very light slimes.
Especially as metal slimes on that one. So, at least this is decent EXP. It's the party to level 14.
Dengwoo going around and buying some spells for his newly minted Knight and Ninja, which obviously is a smart move, especially since levels are low enough that you can go ahead and get a fair number. You can get your maximum spell charges for both of those fairly easily.
Indeed, indeed.
And Caleb pointing out that Ale is getting some good XP, and I suspect that, considering that he is choosing to leave me face planted on the carpet, seemingly for the duration, I figure he's probably going to go ahead and, I suppose, go ahead and promote. It'll be interesting to see what he does once he finds promotion. Sarah pointing out that Caleb may have set the XP threshold to 100% plus for each orb lit, which it's looking like that's certainly possible. We're getting some really good XP on Ale's side now, and obviously that's going to serve in very good interest for everybody except my dead self.
And we found the ruby!
So, continuing on the theme of everything is loose except everything else, why not?
So we are in... God, I think we're in no mode now, or have we seen the chime?
I don't believe we've seen the chime yet. Dengwoo's turning in his herb and getting garbage for it.
Although, he does have the key.
Caleb pointing out we have not yet found Volcano. That is true. I'm sure that will be found fairly shortly because... Oh, hi, terrible God. But considering that we have flight for both, I would expect Volcano to be found very quickly.
Agreed. We found Corneria Castle.
Yep.
So that's 2 items.
Oh God! Silver axe +2 and a cap 1. Oh heavens!
Here, have this hat. I knitted it myself.
Well, Sarah, it's good that you spent some time doing something productive while we were trying to find you. Also, white shirt on Ale's side.
So apparently that did roll incentive.
Yep. And a pretty good incentive, too. Especially once you get a promoted white mage, you can use that not just as a great item, but as armor, too.
Oh, and we found Volcano.
We did indeed.
Rapier 4 would have been great to find sooner, but...
A little bit, yeah.
And looks like... Did Elmarkin take a wipe or just exit out? Exit, but
I mean, it would have made sense to exit.
I mean, I was looking over at chat at the time to quickly, keep up on that one, so I didn't see.
Yeah, so chat's saying he did in fact exit, so that would be the smart move to make, and yeah, definitely exited because he's not even trying for those treasure chests, so yeah, definitely an exit.
Ooh, Flame Armor 3.
Hey, so that mention you did earlier about the flame shield being armor, you actually did get it right, you just were predicting the future!
And Flame Shield, too. So, both the flame pieces of gear rolled a 3.
So guys, it's official, Magius can tell the future.
I wish on that one, because then I'd be a billionaire, but can't guess the lottery on that one.
Heh. Well, just as long as you're not Bruce Almighty playing with the lottery, I think we'll be good.
Ooh, another Flame Armor 3. Now, if you're marking here, do you try to actually beat Tia?
I don't know. I mean, it looks like he might be going for, let's see, well, getting his party up to 17. I mean, it could be doable depending on how the boss's stats rolled, but I don't know. 17, it's possible.
I mean,
I'm not sure if I'd be comfortable doing it, but it's possible.
I mean, at the very least, we do know from Elmarkin's Lich fight that the bosses might have rolled high on HP.
Yeah.
And ew, looks like Dengwoo took a wipe just before they could check the armory center chest.
Oh dear. Yeah, Sierra mentioning there might be required war mech. That would be something interesting for us.
Also, noting that they probably have Brack.
Yeah, that would definitely help, of course, against Tia.
Ooh, Flamesword 5.
That's definitely not a bad stick to swing around either.
And not re-equipping that defense sword. So I believe the math is that that's stronger.
You would have to have a very good knowledge of how the weapons natively rolled to be able to calculate that. I will be the first person to admit I don't particularly have that knowledge, so I would presume, though, that they do. Certainly better than I.
I mean, I think Elmarkin did the smart thing and actually checked the stat screen and found another flame armor. So that's 3 flame armors tonight.
And then going ahead and disposing of the trash, which is a good idea. Especially in Sky 3, because you can theoretically just throw them out of the tower and just watch them drop. Cyrenus asking, is it Defense 2 and Flame 4? And Caleb pointing out, Dragon 5 is one of the swords, Flame 4 is another, and I believe it's Defense 3, if I remember correctly.
And also, we have procedurally generated
Sky Maids! So, have fun, Ale!
At least as a positive note, some of the wrong paths are blocked off.
That's true.
Ooh, and another Dragon 5, I believe.
So the fighters have ruse. This is interesting. And Lit 2, which is hitting a little bit harder than it has any right to. Oh, and glare. Oh dear.
Oh, and heal, I think.
Yeah, well, fortunately, though, it didn't take too much longer to take down that fighter, so Ale's able to get the Black Mage picked back up, and it looks like we're good to go. Albeit, all nice and twisty.
Mudgal Sorcerer fights. Hopefully you can get away on that one.
Yeah, that's high ribbon.
Vanilla ribbon. Always worth it.
And our first ribbon, if I remember correctly.
You remember correctly.
Oh dear. Ale finding himself trapped behind all the walls of the institution.
Sadly, they're not padded tonight. So at least he can manage to bang his head against it.
Dengwoo not bothering to check the trap tile chest in the top of the Agma floor room. Interesting, considering we found every conceivable loose item possible, just about. Then again, as the chat has pointed out, there's no need for the chime, so perhaps he just feels like he doesn't need to check them anymore.
I mean, gear-wise, it's worth it. But then again...
Looks like he is going to take this trap tile, so...
While Elmarkin is trying to get away from those fighters. Ooh,
and the fighters, yeah, the fighters don't seem to be doing him any favors. Oh, definitely not.
Oh, and they have XP too. But that is a lot of EXP.
Yep, absolutely. That's one thing that Elmarkin has definitely found in this, is tons of XP. Because, of course, Sky being one of the highest XP dungeons anyway, and also that orb benefit that we seem to be having in front of us.
I think Elmarkin is right now trying to get out of dodge.
Yeah, and unfortunately having no luck. Oh, the joys of procedurally generated Sky Maze.
I mean, remember, up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Ooh, Blackshirt was in the incentivized pool as well.
Yep. And that -4 shouldn't matter terribly much. Although, looks like deciding to equip it in favor of the Copper 2. Chat commenting that randomized loot because we found pretty much an entire treasure room floor full of flame armors. Meanwhile, looks like the glare on the Whiz Ogres.
And Elmarkin resets out.
I mean, considering how much those encounters were tearing his party apart, I don't blame him. Those were rough. Especially with a wonderful Sky Maze to tease everybody.
So let's see. Den just about to get to what we believe is carry. Let's see. Oh, no! They are randomized!
Oh boy. So Lich just landed in his proper spot, and everybody else is all nice and shuffled.
Now, we know they are randomized. Elmarkin might assume that they are not, since he actually beat Kraken. Sorry. It's in the normal location.
Yeah, well, Ale will discover the truth soon enough, as we've gotten Lit's thrown out, Invis is thrown out, and yeah, looks like Lit or fasting the fight. Oh dear, and the ninja just goes down hardcore. So, Dengwoo fasting the fighter, and Caleb casting Invis 2 to try to get around some pretty heavy-hitting tentacles there.
Yep, and Elmark picking up their knitted hat from Sarah.
Discovering the terrible truth that Sarah has spent all her time waiting for them knitting a cap.
I mean, at least it's a +1, so he knows he can actually sew, to some degree.
Alright, so we continue to have Fade, Lit 3, the fighter getting buffed up again, and looks like Kraken was pretty tanky, because even fasted up fighter's not doing too much in the way of damage, and we know that fasted fighter is, doesn't have an insignificant weapon.
Did you see what literally Kraken just cast?
I did not actually. I was peeking over at Elmarkin's screen.
Kraken has slow. And hit the
fighter. Yeah, slow too. Oh dear. That's a problem, especially for that fighter. Looks like we've got a Quad X play, and not quite, so Kraken is a little bit healthier than Dengwoo would like, unfortunately.
Yep. Opting for another string of adviz. I decide what to do. Stopping? Will it work? Ineffective. Swing, 6 hits, 195 damage. And Kraken's got fire too.
Well, the good news is at the very least that Kraken hasn't decided to back row that Black Mage yet, because otherwise that could be particularly brutal. But fire does the trick for him. So, yeah, unfortunately. And it looks like Dengwoo's out of Fade Cast, so he's just gonna have to do heal pots. Try to keep that fighter up as long as possible. So we're kind of, we're on a wing and a prayer at this point. And then the fighter got paralyzed. Oh dear. And
and Kraken's got fast.
Just as another insult. Oh my heavens. Meanwhile, poor Caleb is trying to take down Kraken 1 HP at a time. Or, well, attempting to, and it's not working out so hot.
I mean, he's got a pointy stick. It's a pointy stick. It might be able to poke Kraken's eye out.
I mean, possibly? Unfortunately, this has really just turned into an exercise in futility for Dengwoo, although if this somehow, by basically God's own grace, happens to actually work out, Dengwoo might somehow solidify hero status from this.
I mean, max evade, even for 1 damage, they're probably going to be annoyed, but they don't know how much health Kraken has. This is more of a, you try to see if you can actually manage to take him down, because you're assuming that it's nearly gone?
I presume so, but that last Quad X check had not worked out, so... Oh, there it went. The dream is dead.
Sadly.
Yep.
We found some more Sardia Island treasury. Let's see, some cabins, a little bit of money, some more money.
Good bit of money, too.
Imitar 1, more money, and more money.
So, lucrative, but perhaps not what they were looking for.
I'm surprised we have not seen the dive into the Neural Waterfall location yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dengwoo's in the neighborhood. I was going to say maybe he'll check it, but no, not so much. I guess he's going to go see. And of course, he has already done that slab turn in, so he's going to go see what he gets out of Lefane.
I mean, we do know some of the incentivized locations are actually incentivized tonight. So, since we have seen quite a few incentive items, such as the Defense Sword Canoe, Floor Hammer, gotta forget the other, at least the white shirt, maybe black, just some money tonight, sadly though.
Yep. Oh well, I mean, still, money is good. He's gonna go ahead and check those level 8 spells while he's here.
Heal and...
Warp? That's not bad. Just good luck getting spell charges on it, but it's still, Warp's not a bad thing to have.
Oh god, Elmarkin. You're gonna be in for a treat soon.
Yes. Oh, yes. We know he does not, but well, they'll find out soon.
Yes, he will. Ice and dark. Be careful of the ice. It's dark outside.
Then heal 3 is pretty good pickup for the white mage. And then we see those gold 2s on sale in Gaia for a lot of money, but if you eventually get the money, sell the X-Cal.
Yeah, I agree on this one.
He's going to!
Yes, he is.
So, can we call that a commentator's bless?
Oh, also selling the katana. And apparently, according to Cyrus, every NPC in in the thing can't be NPC guillotined.
So no killing the mysterious elves, drat. Or what are they actually? Are they elves?
They are elves, if I recall the story of the game correctly.
It's been ages since I've actually played the vanilla game, so...
Ooh. Tempers at level 8 black magic.
Yep.
Buying that one crystal.
The neutral term is commentator invocation. Okay, I'll take it.
Oh, Elmarkin. How little you know what horrors will await you.
Well, I was gonna say, considering that Ale's got, fair levels on him. So, my sacrifice is not in vain.
Also not promoted yet.
Yeah, so, not able to swing the best weaponry, but we'll see how it goes.
Also has Brack, though.
Yep, cheeky Brack strats work!
Broken into pieces!
First swing! Down goes Kraken.
And that Elmarkin lights their second orb.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 in 256. So, congratulations. Kraken is brackened and down he goes.
Actually, I believe it's a bit higher than 3 in 256 for Brack on Kraken.
Oh, well, good chances anyway. I'm just so used to 3 and 256 with everything else, I suppose.
Ooh, dwarves require the Oxyale tonight.
Oh, hi.
Hooray!
And the Hooray Dwarf is safe from the guillotine! Bless you, Caleb, bless you. Unless that's just implemented in the flags, but still, bless you for the fun seed.
No, Hooray Dwarf is actually, safe. Although it doesn't have adamant to turn that in, but we found Northwest Castle.
And get a Procate 5 from it.
Yeah, but Elmarkin already has a lot of Procate 5s.
Yeah. So we leave Astos to his underwater domains, or at least waterfall domains.
You mean the robot tonight, because Astos was in the waterfall.
Yep.
But let's see what just money.
Rip. The incentives have been very unkind tonight, and the looses have been the exact opposite.
You mean the looses have basically been stacked in the same dungeons? Ooh,
like I said, the looses have been the exact opposite.
You are right, but zombie
Elmarkin finds the promotion. So time to grow up and leave my mastered face still in the carpet.
Oh, look what we found that are quad-axable.
The red dragons?
No.
Oh, okay.
Agamas.
Oh, I just saw a flash of red and then saw it going away. So.
I mean, if it wasn't this late in the game and not have promoted yet, I could see a grind there.
I'm a little surprised he didn't take at least a little bit of one. Just, do enough to exhaust those quad axes and then go about your merry way.
And Dengwoo realizing that he lost the adamant when he wiped here earlier. It looks like Elmarkin's going to go buy spells.
I would presume so, yeah. Yep, that level 6 Nukio. Which obviously is a good pickup no matter where you find it.
Yeah, except if it's vanilla level 8.
I mean, it's still not a bad pickup in level 8, you just don't get to play with it very much.
I mean, unless you want to grind to 50, but even then, it's still useful. Are we gonna actually see Elmarkin manage to finish everything in this crazy seed tonight?
Looks like. Looks like we're gonna see our runners shake hands a little bit as they go through the sea shrine. Or at least get close to it, anyway.
Very true. Ooh, those fires went down pretty fast, too.
Oh, that's not bad for XP. Not great, but not bad. Of course, that being said, in regards to the grinds, with Dengwoo not having taken one yet, it's possible, I mean, he has no orbs lit on our tracker, so it's possible, since he's figured out that the key items don't seem to have anything to do with XP increase, he's likely figured out that the orbs do, so he's waiting to light orbs before he starts doing any sort of grind.
Yep, and it is almost to, well, either Carrie or Tiamat.
Yep. Obviously, we'll find out in mere moments, because it looks like both of them are heading in exactly the same direction at relatively the same speed.
Very true. So what are you hoping for? Carrie? Or Tia?
I would say... I don't know, let's throw Tia at them.
I'll say Carrie, just so that way... It's Carrie. The Feet of Fire in the water dungeon, and since Kraken was in the volcano, roasting himself?
Have a double steam.
Yeah, pretty much. And we have Carrie!
Ah, so we have double steam tonight.
And we have an actual high five.
Chad is unfortunately displeased with Tia being in, or with Tia not being here, rather.
Sadly.
Yep.
But this will help Dengwoo if they can get through here.
Alright, so we have our various strats here. We have invises or white shirts being used really on both ends. Dengwoo going with the paralysis strat and pulling it off. Nice. So that'll get him a little bit more leeway as he fires off some spells. Then on Elmarkin's side, we've got Confuse and white shirt strats, and it looks like the status attacks seem to be fairly successful against these fiends. Or at least against Carrie, anyway.
Very true. And looks like Dengwoo's opting to try a quad X again. Hopefully Carrie will be down for that. Will it? Nope.
No, does not appear so. Oh, and it was just above that 300 though, it looks like. So Dengwoo takes down Carrie and lights that orb, and I expect Elmarkin will probably take, yep, right in tune. So they both took down Carrie within about a minute of each other.
Yep, and as a positive note, got some decent experience from that as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's definitely going to be useful for both of them. Of course, Ale has the advantage of having lit 2 other orbs already, and Dengwoo is going to, well, mitigate that little issue as he cruises his way down to the Earth orb.
I mean, we haven't found Massa, but that defense sword's putting in work.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Especially considering it's defense +3, so you get the advantage of being able to use the item and cast Ruse on yourself, which gives those 2 defense stacks, as well as a big weapon to just, shove in an enemy's face.
Just reminds you of that, of an image of hero basically holding up a sword, whispering to it, getting the buff, and then just immediately turning around and hitting an enemy on the head.
So now it looks like Ale is making those magic pickups that Dengwoo made just a little bit earlier, but that generally, it doesn't matter obviously because you get those charges regardless of whether you have the magic or not. It's just a question of getting it.
Very true. And then on their way down to the, what we know is actually Lich.
Yep. What we know to be vanilla ice cream sitting on the throne of the Earth Orb.
Has it been there for less than 5 seconds?
If you prop it up well enough on the throne, you don't have to worry about the 5-second rule. You just have to worry about it melting into your seat.
True enough. And since we're about an hour and 18 minutes in, I guess we'll give the... If you like what you're seeing, please remember to follow our runners. They're putting on a great show tonight, considering they had no clue what the flags were going to be for this seed. I'm sure someone could drop a link, to their Twitch channels in chat. And hopefully you're all enjoying this Irongol Heavy Metal Championship match race.
Speaking of flags, if any of you are just joining us, we are a little over an hour into this. This has been a crazy seed. We have an entrance randomizer. We have blessed and cursed weapons and armor. We have NPC guillotine on. We have fiend. We have enemy stats being messed with. We have fiends being tossed around all over the place. We have random treasures. We have all sorts of crazy stuff going on tonight, and it has been glorious.
Yes, it has. It's been a great baseball game tonight, folks.
Yep. Because Caleb chose to lead the word baseball as his seed number tonight, and it has, it's been quite a ball game. You could almost call it a home run derby in a way.
And it looks like El Markin's just racing and hoping that Temple of Fiends isn't that bad. We don't know if it's a short Topher. We don't know if it's going to be insane stats. We don't even know if it's going to be alt final bosses.
Meanwhile, Dengwoo is taking on Lich and quaking Lich to death. So, Lich gets to eat his cake tonight.
He gets to have his cake and then eat it too.
Meanwhile, El Markin is being assaulted again by the Sky Mace. But has a bit more levels under his belt this time, so hopefully we'll be better able to endure the rigors of it.
Too true.
That being said, a Sky Maze is not kind no matter how many levels you have.
Also, it looks like Warmech at the very least is not patrolling tonight, as we have not seen our robot chicken wandering around.
Right. So, it's either vanilla or required. Because if it's required, it'll be sitting right in front of Tiamat's, well, at least what usually is Tiamat's door, sitting there going, yeah, bring it. So, we shall find out.
We know that it is going to be Tiamat at the very least.
Yeah.
Looks like Dengwoo is buying spells, I think? Or no?
Yep, looks like he is going to the not often visited spell shop in Gaia, getting that temper. Yep, understandable.
Now Markin hitting level 20.
Well, that's, pretty close to some good levels to maybe go in, well, once he finishes up here, of course, maybe go into Topher I don't know if he'll decide to maybe grind a little bit more in anticipation of what Topher could be. Of course, he could just very well take an information dive just to see what awaits him.
You get those blessed RNTs in chat.
Yep, because the exit has finally been found and the glares are going out. Fortunately, they're not doing anything.
Nope.
So yes, Ailmarkin has escaped the maze at last.
Also, we have not ever seen if Ordeals actually had anything in its incentive location, but at present doesn't matter. So who knows, Massa could have been there.
The real question is, was he able to track the maze? I don't know if that... Oh! Hi, Warmac. You are required tonight.
So let's see, we'll get a preview of how bad the Fiend 2 fights are, since Warmac does have the same spell pool and skill pool that the Fiend refights in Chaos has.
A Warmech evoking Terminator. Hasta la vista, baby.
Starting out with some ink.
It looks like Ailmarkin is preparing for a very beefy Warmech, and understandably so. Unfortunately, that zap hit through and took out the Black Mage. Yeah.
Looks like Warmac got some evade.
Yeah, it does appear so. So, I don't think since the Black Mage is down there, definitely no locks to be had. So, good luck, Ale. This is not looking great to begin with here.
Sadly, no. Ice 2 comes out. Warmac. Ailmarkin misses on that fighter.
Oh dear. Yeah, he's dark too, so that makes it even worse. And slow too. This is not working out well for Ailmarkin. It looks like the robot chicken may take this. Well, probably will take it now that the fighter's paralyzed too.
I mean, does have the white shirt, could survive.
Yeah, it really is a war. Oh dear.
It's swirl.
Oh. I was about to say it was a war of attrition, and then, well, Warmech swirled them out the door.
Give him a swirly.
Yikes. Warmech is a bully indeed. Dengwoo checking the tavern and not finding anything to his liking, so he zips right out.
Looks like
So now we're
back.
I was gonna say, now the question is, how well does Dengwoo handle the rigors of Sky Maze, and if he gets to Warmech?
I mean, they can always just start with the Kami code and go from there.
Also, hey, look at this! We've got ourselves our runners high-fiving again.
And in the same fight.
Oh, yeah. Now, the question is, since Ailmarkin has already seen the Sky Maze and has traversed its nightmarish depths, will he be able to get back quicker? Because if you were to ask me to replicate all the twists and turns and craziness of that Sky Maze, I can't. It's just beyond the powers of my brain.
I mean, at the power of Grayskull, you might be able to.
Well, unfortunately, that's not handy to me tonight, so we'll just have to make do with other things. Also, apparently it was a lot easier to find than I thought. Okay, never mind then.
I mean, once you found the way out, it wasn't that hard to find. It was just hard to find originally.
Yeah, I guess I just got turned around by all those twists and turns that Ale was making to try to basically map out the Sky Maze.
Yep. And getting back to the robot again.
Let's see if it's a little more generous to Ale this time. I don't think it will be, but we'll see.
Walling up and nuke immediately. Defense sword coming out. Wall on that. Right, but
The Black Mage gets bodied again.
yep. Immediately starting to defense up. Zap, ineffective. Inferno coming out. 2 hits of 170 James damage. Swing, 104 damage. White Chip coming out again. Warmack starting to miss.
Yeah, and that obviously is the good thing about having that defense sword handy, because you can get all those evasions in, and we already know that Warmech is doing Warmech things.
Using up that fade. 1 hit, 100 damage. 2 hits, 111. We don't even know how much HP this Warmech has. Nice 2 coming out from Warmech.
Oh,
Is
dear.
that a 1 damage?
Yes, it was. And another one! Har har har.
At least slow to ineffective.
Yeah, some mercy at least.
3 hits, 123 damage. Stun coming out ineffective. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Well, at this rate, we've had strike 1, strike 2, and strike 3, because he's hit 1 damage 3 times now.
Stop ineffective, which is good. Swirl coming out. Survives the swirl.
Yeah, Ale was definitely a lot better prepared for it this time.
I mean, we don't know how many skills Warmech has. But
And-
terminated!
There you go. There's that sweet 42,767 HP, and it gets the 2 remaining fighters up to level 24. So that's some saucy Topher levels. And of course, we know that this is required, so we will soon see it on Dengwoo's side as well.
What? It looks like the Fiends at the very least rolled high on the HP. I do not know if they were clamped or not.
Meanwhile, Elmarkin has commenced his Tia fight, tried those Brack Stress at the beginning, but sadly they didn't work out quite as well as we saw earlier.
Oh, looks like also Tia rolled Absorb.
Oh dear, yeah, because that was that 4 damage on that attack, so... poor fighter.
Also walling up that Black Mage, or Black Wizard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's been a nice adjustment from Elmarkin, throwing out the walls. I mean, obviously, if you don't have the ribbons, that, of course, is what they're good for, so...
I mean, we've only seen 1 ribbon, and I believe Dengwoo has it.
Yeah.
Opted for Brack Scratch again, ineffective. Okay, according to Caleb, apparently the stats were clamped and they were separated. So the HP and the stats themselves were in a separate pool, so that means we could have 500% clamped HP while, you know, like say 200 to 300 of the, you know, stats. Oh, and apparently also Elmarkin does have a ribbon.
Still, though, it's a good strategy to just go ahead and toss up those walls on any party members who are not ribbon, because you never know when that death is coming there.
Also, Thunder from Tiamat. using that lightning head. Also, nothing too fast, that fighter. Sorry, knight.
Close enough.
I know. 7 hits, though.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot better. 219 as damage than 4. Oh, hello, damage poison. Also, Aile's White Mage hanging on with 2 HP, so not quite as hero-inducing as 1, but still hanging on a thread there.
I mean, Elmarkin hasn't gone and bought Temper, and I'm not sure if they know where it is. We do know that it is level 8 Gaia.
Zach getting critted there by Tia. That's about probably the only thing that can hit the fighter at this point is any sort of criticals. Putting out some pretty decent damage being fasted now, so hopefully Tia will go down fairly shortly, assuming that the fighter can remain going. Which probably should be able to, barring anything super nasty in the Fiend Pool. So it looks like in the healing department, Elmarkin is going with the heal pots to try to, just to top off particularly the fighter and keep him going, because the fighter's really the only damage dealing we've got going on at the moment, or at least major damage dealing anyway. Lit 3's doing, a little bit of damage, but it's more chip damage at this point in a lot of ways.
Also, we will see another Warmech fight on Dengwoo's side, as it is required, but manages to get down that Tia.
Alright, so Elmarkin now has all 4 of the orbs lit, and it's time to make the slow walk back to Temple of Fiends revisited, given where the Sky Dungeon ended up.
Very true. We don't know if it's going to be a short trophy or not. We don't even know if there's going to be an final boss.
As Dengwoo's ninja just gets utterly face-planted by the very nasty Warmech that, of course, we know all of its foibles and troubles and problems. Dengwoo is just discovering them for the first time.
Looks like Elmarkin is going to go pick up that temper.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh god.
Oh dear. Blink and Dengwoo's dead.
We found Cure 4 too.
And chat's mentioning that Dengwoo got zapped through a ribbon. So speaking of 3 and 256, oh boy, that's bad 3 and 256. We don't want that.
Most definitely.
So, Warmech is proving to be just utterly torturous. I don't think we need any of the fiends, any of the revisited fiends to be gatekeepers at this point. Warmech is doing that job quite nicely. Thank you very much.
Oh no, we still need the fiends to be horrible. So let's see, what do we have tonight? Do we have Short Topher? We do!
It's a shorty Topher. Let's see how bad the fiend refights are. Of course, there will be 2 to each side. And we have Lich coming up first.
Fire 3, 51 damage. Arm 4 coming out for 212. Swing, 4 hits, 266. Not bad.
And Lich not hitting that hard either, so looking like, unless there's some nasty spells coming up, this might not be too bad.
4 hits, 139. 4 hits, 78. Fire 3 coming out, 55 damage, and terminated.
Yeah, so Lich actually wasn't too bad. At least Lich 2, anyway.
And Opal, but it rolled negative. And here's Kraken.
Oh no. That poor Black Wizard. Oh, Ale.
turning up.
Sorry, Caleb. You're just getting smacked around tonight. Everybody's got it out for you, apparently.
I mean, considering Caleb rolled the seed, yeah. Also, it looks like Kraken did roll a little bit beefy tonight.
And a
nuclear!
Hello. I was gonna say, should we call this Star Wars Episode 10, The Fiends Strike Back?
Yeah, I was also gonna say it looks like Kraken stole one of the nukes from the Warmac before coming here.
Yeah. Also, 5 HP left on that fighter. Hanging on. Well, now, not 5, but still, holy mackerel.
11 damage. But Kraken missing right now.
Yeah, those defenses and white shirts obviously doing a lot of work. Of course, that's the whole point.
3 hits, 204 damage. 3 hits, 307. Come on, Kraken. Throw out another skill.
Meanwhile, Dengwoo picking up that ribbon on the Agama floor. And Ale getting bodied by Kraken. So, attempt number 2. So it looks like we have, pretty similar stats. We have Harm 4s, we have Ice 3s, and we have now Fire 3 going out. Doing a bit more damage. Of course, we know, obviously, and of course Ale knows, that this Lich 2 wasn't all that bad. So he's not going to use a lot of heavy resources to try to go after Lich. Save him for Kraken and Chaos.
Definitely.
Of course, that being said, if this goes on a little bit longer than last time, Ale could find that Lich wasn't quite as, kind, but it doesn't go on very long, so Lich finds his face in the dirt once again.
Also, Den attempting to beat Kraken again.
Speaking of Kraken, hello Kraken.
We're throwing a defense sword and the white shirt. 53 damage. A whole bunch of damage. You coming out from that black? 111 damage. Lock 2 coming out. Ineffective! The lock fixes are off!
Yep. So that's a lovely time to have that discovery near the end of the game. Meanwhile, chat wants Ale to raise me from the dead only so I can take a punch. I mean, sounds about right.
There's a good chance that will happen. Also, it looks like Dengwoo beat Kraken, but isn't leaving just yet.
I guess he's deciding he either is going to pick up try to go ahead and clean out the treasures, or maybe just deciding he needs a little bit more in the way of levels, which either one would do, considering what he now knows about Warmech.
I mean, black shirt, nuclear coming out from Kraken. Did 3 for 71 damage. Kraken missing. 6 hits, 512 damage. Really wants that full stack of evasion. 4 hits, 324 damage, and Kraken 2 goes down.
Alright, so Elmarkin is now up to Chaos, which could be normal, or it could be alternate final boss. We will find out.
Or it could be Waka Chaos.
Chad is praying for something, I would presume an alternate final boss.
And the disrespected, it's Waka Chaos!
Oh boy!
Wow, my reads are good tonight.
Speaking of whack of chaos, it looks like chaos was whacking him a little bit. Just a smidge at least.
Also, look where Den is. Going for an old-fashioned Agama grind.
Hey, I mean, why not? Especially since we know they go down to Quad X.
Oh, definitely. And since we know that they're getting a lot of extra EXP from those orbs, definitely quick grind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a good time to take it when he's got 3 orbs, and, you know, so you've got that nice little bonus XP. Alright, so it looks like now that Chaos has been revealed as being the bottom middle Chaos, we've got the fighter psyched up, ready to do some smacking around, and gets 5 hits, 171. Fade coming out from White Mage, and Lot 2 coming out from the Black Mage to try to make Chaos a little more pliable there, which
manages
it does
to hit
this time, yeah. Chat pointing out earlier that the lock fixes were not turned off, but the accuracy was tinkered with a smidge.
That's true.
Elmar can go with some cheeky Brack strats to try to break up Chaos. Sadly, Chaos did not consent to such impunity, so we have to do this the old-fashioned way, sadly. Alright, 6 hits, 121. It looks like the White Mage is relegated, well, is doing some invis duty, as is the Black Mage, so we've got those defense stacks coming up, and it's like just in the nick of time, because the White Mage almost got bodied by a Chaos hit, so we'll see if that ends up being avoided in the future. 6 hits, 121 again, more Brack strats, which unfortunately don't quite work out, but hey, Elmarkin's going to continue them, because why the heck not? I mean, maybe you can get away with the cheeky play and end this thing with a bang, or a Brack, as it were.
Trying for the home run.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Grand Slam at this rate, considering it's the final boss. Those Brack strats continuing, but more conventional, obviously, fighter hits. And apparently that will, of course, chip down Chaos, who looks to be a very, very physical Chaos. So not much in the way of skills or spells this time.
5 hits, 83 damage. 6 hits, 100.
Yep, so it's a chip affair. It's not going to go down quick. Oh! Well, I said not many skills or spells. I'm glad I said not many, because if I'd said none, I'd have had that thrown right back in my face.
Yep.
Oh dear.
This is whole day in pride.
Oh my god! Oh, Cure 4, why? Why? Oh, Chaos had some things hidden up his sleeve. Chat pointing out that he threw out a screwball. I think he's got every pitch. He's got fastballs, curveballs, sliders, screwballs, forkballs. He's got pine tar on his hands. He's got, everything you could possibly use. He's even using the Henry Rowan Gardner trick to try to fake the runners out.
Oh, also Chaos has fast.
Oh god. Well, hey, even more pitches. This Chaos is not hesitating to throw anything at our party tonight, it seems.
The 2 coming out again? Bane ineffective?
Yep. Fortunately, Elmarkin has the ribbon on that fighter, I believe, so that obviously helps out a lot when you're talking about instant... Oh, dear. Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now subject to a war of attrition here, and it'll be interesting to see if Elmarkin can take down Chaos before Chaos just Cure 4s it back up. Oh boy.
I mean, Ice 2 coming out of Chaos?
Oh my. Well, there's your fast. Again. Fortunately, though, those complete stacks of defense are paying insane dividends at this moment because, oh, hi, Rub. Which didn't do anything, but still, hi. Because...
I'm hoping for the 356. I don't know about you.
Oh, you wanted to punch through a ribbon, you fiend! Wait a minute, we're fighting a fiend. Well, technically. Can Chaos run out of Cure 4 charges? We may find out at some point. As Dengwoo, on the other side, locates his loose ruby.
Let's remember to see what the Titan has tonight.
Alright, so it's a man mode match, and Ailmarkin nopes out after the third Cure 4. Oh dear. Considering it's a short Topher, I could understand this. I mean, you're not losing very much time, but still, man, God.
Also, apparently we're being told, Bane into Lit 2, Bane into Lit 2, then Cure 4. I don't know if that's the exact spell table or not, but still.
So Ailmarkin going back into the Sea Shrine, I would presume, to see about getting some levels.
I mean, there was the Agama tile.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the major thing that you would figure these runners are looking for at this point. Caleb pledging that he's going to map all the spells next time so we can get ourselves a full sequence, and then Simple Sarah in chat pulling out Bane, Lit 2, Cure 4, Ice 2, Fast, Rub, Bane, Lit 2. So Sarah did our job for us. Thank you very much, Simple Sarah.
I mean, that's an interesting spell list.
Yes, it is.
Especially with that double Bane.
Mm-hmm. And the Rub. Rub is a nice honorable mention in that sense, I suppose.
Sorry, only one Bane, but that Rub too. And opting for the slimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do know that those slimes go down pretty easily, so it's a quick fire 3, and you get about 6,000 XP. Well, now it's going to be closer to 8,000, or maybe actually closer to 10,000. So.
And what's interesting is Den is on the Bridge of Destiny.
So, yeah, going after that War Mech again, and we'll see how well Dang gets this time. Hopefully he'll be able to take War Mech down, as we've seen how nasty that poor robot can be.
Also, as Caleb's pointing out in chat, he's surprised that he didn't bring up the black belt.
Well, I mean, we know that Ailmarkin has the black belt, but has it Dan? Of course, that black belt's now a master, so I can understand Ale not pulling it up now because you get the problems with the magic defense growth. Dang, though, I don't know. I mean, I guess that might be something we may need to ask at least Dengwoo, because we found some decent grind tiles. We know about the EXP scaling with the orbs being lit. For all we know, magic defense is reversed. That is true, because that might be part of the flags that were turned on and off for this crazy mixed up seed. So yeah, that's definitely a valid point.
The world will never know.
Alright, so Dengwoo is taking on War Mech as L is embarking on his grind. And so we're getting stacks of Invis 2. Zap just plowed through the ninja. And the nuke did decent damage. Not great, but decent.
So doesn't have spell charges on temper yet.
Well, I was going to say levels can definitely take care of that, though.
Yep. Also, Ailmarkin is now level 30.
Well, considering that Chaos has Cure 4 and he knows how nasty that Kraken was the second time through, I presume he's just basically going, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and grind up as far as I feel comfortable just to make certain that, essentially, he's wanting to make sure that his party is, well, really chaos-proof in a way. Sarah mentioning that the temper charges may very well do it. It could, yeah, because I think the big thing that Ailmarkin was lacking was just sheer power damage. And yeah, Templar charges will definitely help with that.
On dead side, so we got another lock 2, ineffective on the Warmech. He hits 170 damage.
Caleb wondering in chat if the power bonk was incentivized somewhere. It is certainly possible. I mean, we didn't see all of the incentive checks, so it's definitely a feasible idea that that could be the case.
I'm almost surprised Ailmarkin having that ruby didn't go and check quick. But considering where a lot of the incentives rolled and how a lot of them were just money, and few horrible items, I can understand completely.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Swirl comes out on Warmech's side, and fortunately Dengwoo's 2 remaining party members were able to survive it.
And Ailmarkin back into Temple of Fiends Revisited.
The good news is now, with Ailmarkin's levels, I imagine that an already not all that tough Lich will be even less tough, as Dengwoo takes down Warmech and gets that 42k XP, and is able to make his way over to, of course, what we now know to be the Vanilla Tia fight.
And this 2 goes down fast this.
Alright, so Dengwoo takes on Tia 1, and let's see. Starts out with, looks like Invis 2 from the White Mage, and is kind of perusing his options as far as what he wants to do. Brack Strats from the Ninja, ineffective. Quake from the Black Mage, also ineffective, sadly.
Also, Kraken 2 already throwing out the Nuclear and Thunder.
The good news is, though, those levels are paying off because all of his party, or his active party, were able to survive all of those. So, good on Ailmarkin for those levels, definitely. Alright, so we had some stop strats from the Black Wizard on Dengwoo's side. Didn't work out terribly well, unfortunately, but gonna keep on trying those status effects because they have worked on other fiends before, so Dengwoo hoping that that is the case this time as well.
Yep, 3 hits, 30 damage, hold try, ineffective. Ice 3 coming out, 49 damage. So on Ailmarkin's side, just trying to take down that Kraken 2.
Meanwhile, on the Kraken fight, it looks like Ailmarkin is simply swinging with the fighter, and of course those temper stats will, or the tempers, if any of them were used, will obviously help out with that. Really good hit on that last one, I think 555 HP, so that's going to go, and he pulls it off again and takes down the second fiend. So now we just have our alternate Chaos and Company waiting for us.
Waka Chaos, and putting the ribbon on that fighter again?
That makes sense, and given that we know that those death spells, and he, of course, Ailmarkin now knows that those death spells are coming, and is, I'm sure, going to prepare accordingly depending on how he wants to pursue the fight. If he wants to keep everybody up or not.
Also on Dengwoo's side, it's down to just the Knight. So here's Waka Chaos again.
Alright, so tossing out a nuke with the Black Mage, obviously to get down everybody except Chaos himself. And Chaos this time has moved to be the top right Chaos. So we have a Chaos that likes to, you know, travel different places, likes to do new things and meet new people.
And Bane ineffective?
So we get fast on the fighter, and obviously the defense sword to try to increase all that evasion. Temper going on the fighter as well. given that that is by and large going to be your major damage dealing, certainly in the long term. Meanwhile, on Dengwoo's side, the fighter, the knight, is continuing to chip away at Tiamat, and you got to give Dengwoo some credit. He's definitely getting behind the man mode strats. He tried to man mode 2 fiends in this seed, so if nothing else, Dengwoo gets the hard-headed Wonder Award tonight.
Oh god, Chaos, that rolled a lot of absorb. That temper, even tempered up, that is still not doing that much damage.
I was trying to increase that with some lock spell. The lock didn't hit, but fortunately the fighter did hit pretty hard. And he's going to continue with those lock strats to try to make Chaos even more hittable, which is understandable given the absorb that we've seen so far. So white shirt from the white mage, lock 2 from the black mage, and just more hits from the fighter. 10 hits for 513, so the lock is definitely being effective. Unfortunately, we've also got a lot of absorb on Chaos, so it's definitely going to come down to, can they do enough damage with the tempered fighter before that Cure 4 comes across and just ruins life for everybody.
Yep. I mean, we've already seen it once, and let's see, another white 2 coming out.
Well, 5 hits, 656, so definitely did very well, and 9 hits, 528. So that white mage is just desperately keeping himself alive to try to serve as a healer, just in case Chaos does some any more nasty stuff.
And Dengwoo resetting out. 10 hits, 700 change damage, fade coming out.
So we have a very, very meaty Chaos. Holy mackerel.
I'm hoping for 10k HP.
Huh. It's kind of looking like it, actually. And we have a raid, Speed Gaming 3, with a party of 97. Welcome everybody to Speed Gaming 3. You are witnessing the Chaos fight in a Final Fantasy Randomizer Irongol challenge, where Elmarkin is attempting to take down the Fiend, and we have a very meaty Chaos on our hands. So, welcome everybody from Speed Gaming 3. It looks like, well, we've got quite the fight on our hands here.
Come on, Chaos. Only a few more spells.
We do know that this Chaos has a Cure 4, which will instantly heal it for every bit of damage we've dealt so far. And
terminated!
Terminated, 10 hits, 706. Chaos is dead. Elmarkin has finished first with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 52 seconds. And very shortly thereafter, Dengwoo forfeited from the race, understandably. This was quite the seed, so GG Elmarkin, GG Dengwoo for going through all of that crazy entrance randomizer mess. And hopefully we'll be able to get the runners in chat for a few questions and some comments as everything has finished up. So GG to both of the runners. That was quite the race. It was very, very entertaining. Needless to say.
Zenobian at saying easy sub 2 hour seed.
Oh, of course. We who are watching can call it an easy seed. Wow. Looks like Dengwoo is going to fly around the world and do a few things. At least maybe decide to play with some pirates. And we are joined in chat by Elmarkin. GG Elmarkin. Well done.
Thanks, Grant. That was it's an interesting little seed that Caleb put together for us.
Did he tell you
definitely.
what he did for his seed? For how he rolled the seed?
Nope. All we heard was we asked him to make some blind flags for us, since both Dengwoo and I were game for it, and then he sent us the thing tonight. Said I used one of my favorite seeds, which was baseball, and I was like, okay, great. I'm sure this can end poorly.
Yeah, so, what did you think of this party combination that you were forced to use?
I mean, I didn't think it was too bad, all said and told. I mean, you had you had a knight, you had a force white mage, you had a couple different, options there for mages and magic and whatnot. So you at least could get your guaranteed white and black magic out of your white mage and your black mage. But aside from that, I don't think it was too terrible.
Also, we are joined by our second place runner, Dengwoo. Deng, GG's.
Oh, hi, everybody.
GG.
Wouldn't call that it was, wow, so level 1 magic, if you didn't choose good for the rest of the game, that was fantastic.
Yes, the magic was definitely quite something. It's funny because I don't know, have you guys run blind flags prior to this?
Yeah, I've done a couple. I did a match a few weeks back with Zenobian. I think I've been part of another one as well with Ragnarok, and I think this is the third blind flag one that I've.
Okay, so you had at least a measure of what chaos this seed could provide, and I noticed, of course, we were sitting there trying to keep track of them as you guys found them, because obviously we didn't know anything about the seed either, so we were just enjoying all of it unfold in front of our very attentive eyes.
So, Elmarkin, do you want to tell Den what Chaos had?
Aside from a truck ton of HP, he also had Cure 4, and that was all kinds of fun.
They get past the Warmack.
Yeah, Warmack was fun for me too.
Warmack into Tiamat that never went down because Locke missed every time.
So congratulations on that flag too. Yeah, I think the first time we saw that flag was, I believe, Ale, I think it was when you were going into the short Topher, and you started casting Lock 2 to try to make the fiends a little bit more pliable, and it wasn't quite working so much.
Yeah, so I saw that, and I was like, all right, so either lock fixes are off, or Caleb was fiddling with one of the alpha flags that adjusts its accuracy. And I'm going to really hope he just adjusted the accuracy, didn't completely turn it off, because that would have been no one.
Yes, Caleb's mentioning in chat that Locke had 162 accuracy, so he did just play with some settings and not completely turn them off.
So a 50% chance to hit, and I went through all 4 and landed 1. Awesome.
So congratulations, the math worked out perfectly for you.
Yay, math.
Also, Ale, I did want to mention, first off, I am honored that you made me a character. I think it's the first time I've ever been made a character in a Final Fantasy randomizer. I am not so honored that I spent the entire game on the ground.
So, Karant, you were my black belt.
I noticed.
And I did the fighter black belt white black comp just because I figured, maybe if things get really shisty, or if I find a really good solo tile, maybe I can just grind up the black belt and hope for the best, and maybe I can have really 2 hard hitters. And outside of the solo, maybe sometimes double Sphinx fight in where was that? In the Mirage 3. I don't think I really ever found any really great solo grinds, so I was just like, I guess we're just dragging poor Karant along with us for this particular run.
Waterfall had Northwest Castle. Agama's had 120 HP.
I never found the key, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, because I'm here trying to do stuff, because I go into Earth, I dive all the way down to Lich, and I go, because of SG Live, Caleb's going to have Fiend Shuffle on. So I get the floater, and I'm on Lich's floor, and I go, wait, I should probably leave, because he's got this on. So I leave to get in the air, and then I go back and dive Earth Cave, and long and behold, it's Lich. And I'm like, of course you're Lich, because I'm here trying to play safe. And then my next dungeon, I did C or something. I'm like, or what was it? I did Volcano.
Turns out to be Kraken.
Yeah, Kraken wipes me. So then I go and do something else, and I wipe again. And then I go and dive Warmack after getting lost in the maze. So Warmack zaps me through a wall, which I casted. I forgot that because I wiped the Kraken, I didn't have my ribbon from Volcano, so I got zapped through that. I believe Zap also hit the black shirt I had too, or maybe not. I don't know.
No, that's a whole lot of no bueno right there. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, no, it's fine. Was there Masa? Anybody know?
I don't think
No.
either runner found it.
I mean, I feel like looking at the tracker here on the site, it looks like you found a lot more than I did.
I
Because I think I
getting
checked.
bounced out. This is awful.
Yeah, like I don't think I ever found Marsh, so I never checked any of that. I never went back and checked the TFC box or really any key locked boxes because I never found the key. I felt like there was a good number of things that I never checked, but I basically full cleared Volcano, Sea, Sky, and Earth with the exception of TFC. So if there was a Moss, it was in something that wasn't that.
We did not see Mars. We can assume that Mars was in the Vanilla Mirage Tower location, and we don't know if.
Yeah, I never found Chime, so I never checked Mirage, and I think I skipped like the Volcano and the Ice Cave. Like I never saw a number of dungeons. Like I don't think I ever found Waterfall. I never found Ice Cave. I never did Ordeals. I skipped a bunch of that stuff.
Oh my goodness! No wonder you were so much faster. Actually, I had all the orbs lit except for Sky, and then I had this long battle against Tiamat, which I couldn't do damage to, and she just slowly casted damage poison to kill me.
Yeah, I think the thing that saved me is I found the defense sword early. Couldn't tell you where I found it at. But between that and the white shirt, that was basically my strats for both Warmech and Tia, because I didn't really have anything else in the tank at that point. And then even for Chaos, like the thing that really saved me was I found the slime tile down in C. So I just did a 3-man grind on that and just kept using either Fire 3 or Fade or Nuke to get them all down. And I think I finished at 32 for my night.
You said this was short Topher, right?
Short Topher.
So I'm, completing it because I said, I'm going to do this Ruby turn-in, and I wanted to do it several times. I said I was going to do this, and I didn't. And it turns out to be the power bonk, and I could have ended this darn thing and might have had a chance.
Oh hey,
man.
that would have been useful.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Then that tells me Ordeals, which either finished, has the chime.
Yeah, must have been because I completely forgot to go back into. I was gonna do Ordeals and I completely forgot to go do it.
Oh,
Well, so I skipped it because I found all the dungeons, I don't want to say early, but I found them, eventually. And so I knew I never really had to go into it, especially because with the thing I learned against a map or a match against Spells app was that if you start with a loot, short Topher's on, meaning you don't need the key. Because that was something that bit me in one of my matches for Spells app when I was trying to dethrone him. And so I kept that in the back of my mind. And once I found everything aside from that, I was like, I'd never have to go back there. And hearing you say you never went back there, I'm just sitting there thinking, I bet the moss is behind like a 3 grind tile, and we could have had a much easier seed, but we never went there.
We couldn't go there because it's crown required.
Yeah, both of you had a nice, probably about 10-15 second pause when you walked up to the throne and realized that you were missing the jewelry needed to ascend it.
That's why I forgot about it. I just ran into it again. I'm like, it won't let me in.
Almost no one remembers that it's actually there because it's almost always free, early.
But it was fun. Thank you, Caleb, for doing this. AL, GG to you, sir. You played this a lot better. Hey, it was fun. That's all that matters. Welcome to Irongol, everybody.
Where you can have something crazy happen, like this shenanigans, or even worse, or even better.
Absolutely.
I mean,
the good news is it's going to be a lot of fun in the offing.
not just that, but we also have the Rumble coming up this Saturday.
Yeah, so the Rumble on Saturday is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to shake up all the rankings. So, me retaining my number 2 challenger spot, it's really not going to mean much come Saturday. I'm having a hunch because there's a good number of people who are all going to be competing in it. So, if you haven't set foot in Irongol quite yet and you're just curious to see how things work and maybe run some Spell Zap, maybe run some Zenobian, depending on how their match on Thursday night goes. If you want to run some of their flags, hop on in, Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe the time is. It should be a lot of fun, giant melee, and, how you place this for your winning determines your ranking for the official Season 1 of Irongol, so.
Also, question, doesn't this mean the one who's going to be able to make the flags beats him, that they will make the flags?
Yeah, so with the Irongol Royal Rumble come Saturday, the current reigning champion at that time is the one who crafts up the flags for the Rumble. So right now it's Spell Zap. But he does have a match Thursday night versus Zenobian, so depending on the outcome of that, it's going to be either Spell Zap or Zenobian crafting the flags for the giant melee.
I'm surprised people haven't just lined up to challenge him every night of the week until then, so that way we don't know what the flags are until like an hour beforehand.
I mean, it's not a bad thought. I mean, there is a thing going, so if Zenobian should happen to lose on Thursday, I think that kicks me up to number 1. I might be cheeky and try and get a Friday night match against Spell Zap, just one last hurrah before the melee.
I mean, I personally suggest like early Saturday morning, keep everybody on their toes.
See, that implies I want to be up early Saturday morning, and I don't ever want to be up early in the morning, so.
I mean, you could always keep Spell Zap up late on Friday.
True.
Will we call that a sneaky slap strap?
I mean, we'll just have to wait till Friday or Saturday to, figure that one out, won't we?
Whoever actually manages to make the flags, make them crazy.
Oh, they'll be insane. I mean, this is Irongol we're talking about.
Hey, the only Irongol seed I ever did took me 5 hours to do, and even when I gave it to someone else, it still took them nearly 4. Because Unchained Warmech as your second fight in the entire game is painful.
All right, well, this has been a great match. Any final thoughts? Ale, we'll start with you.
I mean, just thanks to you guys. So I believe it's Magius Currant and Jay Scheidel, if I'm getting his name right, for doing crew tonight. SG for hosting us. You guys are always wonderful and willing to put us on and let us run some of our shenanigans, flags, and kind of show some stuff off for the community. Aside from that, thanks to Dengwoo, obviously, for being a good sport and accepting my challenge, even though I'm technically the higher rank, so I'm just being a bully at this point. And then, thanks for Caleb for, drafting up some pretty interesting blind flags for us. I think it played pretty well. I'm curious to maybe run some stuff on the back end as well and maybe go and check out some of the other locations and see what I can find and see what we missed out on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for running it with us, or running it for us, Ale Markin. Dengwoo, any final thoughts on your end?
I don't know. Warmech is not your friend. Tiamat is not easy. Ale is a great runner. Caleb, you trolled me with the Fiend shuffle that didn't end up being shuffled with Lich. I don't know. It was just funny. Thanks a lot, commentators. Thanks a lot, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Yeah, that's that for me.
Well, thank you for running it with us, Dengwoo, and appreciate the show. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming out to Speed Gaming 2 for the Final Fantasy Randomizer Irongol Heavy Metal Championship. And Magius, you want to take us out tonight?
I guess I could just say craziness on that one. The bells went rung. Basically, we'll see you all next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Check out the Discord, check out the Randomizer. Again, follow our runners as they did a phenomenal job. This is Aegis 1. Night all.